Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm so happy you're here. As always, all of my links are down in the description, including my social media, my Patreon, as well as my Amazon storefront. So please go check those out. And without further ado, let's get into this week's video. Enjoy! So since I have now finished my first week as an in-person Zumba instructor, I wanted to share a little bit about the method behind the madness when it comes to Zumba, because I think a lot of the time people see these fun dance classes and think that there's no rhyme or reason to them when there actually is. And so I want to break down a little bit of that for you today. So one of the biggest things that I tell people is Zumba is amazing for keeping your hip flexors loose. So why is this important? Your lower back, your hip flexors, and your core, they all kind of form this nice little harmonious triangle. And so if one of those things is out of whack or isn't strong enough, flexible enough, whatever it is, the others will have to pick up the slack. So a lot of the time, if your core isn't strong enough, combined with either your back or your hips, the other is going to suffer. And so it's really, really important, especially for your hips, that we not just keep them strong, but keep them loose and flexible. And so in a Zumba class, when you see a lot of the dance moves being hip focused, that's why. It's not just because we want to get up there and look sexy. It's because we want to keep those hip flexors loose so that they can support you. So that's the first thing. The next thing is, obviously, it's a really, really good form of cardio. And the reason that I really prefer it over other forms of cardio, now I'm also a runner, so I do still enjoy that. But the reason I think that I prefer Zumba over running is it makes it a little bit more intense. So it makes your cardiovascular system work a little bit harder. The reason I say that is because you could go on a run for 10 or 15 minutes and that would suffice. That's what I do. But with a Zumba class, you're going for 45 or 50 minutes. And so what that does is it trains your cardiovascular system to take a substantial amount of stress. Now, obviously, you want to work up to that. And so, taking breaks during your class, that is completely okay to do. I encourage that, especially if people aren't used to it. But the more that you do the classes, the more it'll build up your cardiovascular system, so your heart, your lungs, all of those things functioning properly. And finally, it's good for your overall range of movement. So anytime you're doing things where you're bringing your arms up this way, or you're doing like little hip things or squats, lunges, things like that, all of those things are going to be good for your mobility. And obviously, when you do squats and lunges in a Zumba class, it's very different than if you're doing them with weights out on the gym floor. So it's going to feel a little bit different, but it's going to be a little bit, I don't want to say less intense, but it's not going to be quite as demanding as it is when you're using a weight or you're out on the gym floor doing them that way. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions about Zumba, what it is, how it can help you, any of those things, please drop them in the comments. I will be happy to answer them, and I will see you all for the next video. Bye. Also, can we take a moment for my little mini office, because my office is upstairs and it's now 100 degrees outside in Arizona and heat rises. So this will be the filming space for the next several months.